Opening statements and the first witness testimony took place before court wrapped up during the Timothy Williams murder trial. Earlier this morning, the remaining jurors were chosen. Isabel Garcia joins us from outside the Hall of Justice with the courtroom details.
Yes. Good evening to you, Teresa. Things were moving rather quickly throughout the proceedings in court today. Monroe County District Attorney Sandra Dorley says during opening statements, the prosecution laid out their approach surrounding this trial is really going to be one based all around forensic evidence. And you'll hear from her about that in just a few minutes. Timothy Williams has been in Monroe County custody since September of 2020, and that when he was arrested after being indicted by a grand jury for the 1984 rape and murder of Wendy Jerome, who was 14 at the time. Retired Rochester Police homicide investigator Gary Galetta took the stand today, testifying to being called to respond to the report of a deceased female at the time. When he arrived on scene off of Rosewood Terrace, he testified to finding the body in an alcove near school number 33 and Webster Ave. He describes the clothing she was wearing as blue jeans, white sneakers, a heavier black leather winter-type coat. The investigator also said there were significant signs of trauma, giving examples of a blood splatter, blood droplets, cast-off smear. This something the defense later asked him to clarify during cross-examination. Now, we know this case will be using familial DNA testing as part of the trial. District Attorney Sandra Dorley spoke with us about what the prosecution addressed today in opening statements.
You know, the most important thing I think that we laid out for the jury was, her body was found on November 22nd of 1984. Her clothing was secured, and many, almost 40 years later, we were able to, through modern technology and science and DNA, examine her clothing, examine a vaginal smear that was taken during the course of the autopsy, and we were able to isolate DNA profiles that are consistent with the defendant in this case. The DNA profiles were found in her vagina, on her underwear, and a pubic hair on her sweater.
And the district attorney also tells us this has been a challenging process to call back witnesses for this retrial. The investigator who took the stand today just arrived in Rochester this morning from Florida, and the retired medical examiner, Dr. Forbes, is coming from South Africa. He is expected to take the stand to testify come Friday. And the court will resume again tomorrow morning beginning at 11. Of course, we will be there and continue to follow this trial as it progresses. For now, we will send things right back to you at the desk. Reporting live outside the Hall of Justice, Isabel Garcia, News 8.